So how do you, I mean, for the producers and for Silvio, when Ugly Betty runs the gamut from this amazingly comedic show to, you know, there are dramatic scenes, and how do you pinpoint that? I mean, it seems like you have to do 8 million things in each episode, and yet you strike the perfect tone. I thought this episode was beautiful. How do you accomplish that as writers and directors and producers?
With a lot of hard work. It honestly, I can't say it gets easier. I mean, every episode is really a unique challenge. Every time you're always trying to strike that fine line. Is it too broad? Is it too cartoony? Is it too serious? Is it too melodramatic? And so I think we've been doing pretty good at it, but it's always a challenge. It's not like we can sort of rest and go to the beach and, you know, let it write itself and let it do itself. And I think all of us put the same amount of work into it at every point.
We all talk to each other a lot. I mean, that's the biggest thing, is just communicating among ourselves, just deciding where we really want to go, because it's a show that needs to be very precise. Everything sort of has to have an intention.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I have to say, one of the moments that I loved, and I'm sure all of you are fans loved, was in, I think it was in the first episode when Marc injects Wilhelmina with Botox. and I just thought, okay, I love this show.
True love, true love.
I mean, you can't get better than that. So, and then the two of you have become this great, you know, wonderfully matching, thanks to Pat, and fabulously, you know, dastardly duo. How did you get that chemistry between the two of you?
It certainly wasn't intentional. I think, and Silvio will correct me, Wilhelmina was supposed to have, the idea was for her to have a new assistant every episode. And when we did the pilot, Michael was brilliant. And I started calling out to him and saying, Marc! And he would jump.
Just hearing your voice almost made me jump. So.
And then he would even mimic. I remember being at the round circular conference table, and I remember slinking down to the chair, and he mimicked exactly the way I slinked at the same time. And I said, okay, we really got, you know, some symbiotic chemistry going on. So, and we knew we couldn't.
Yeah, Michael was a guest star of the first episode, and the idea was she fires her assistant every single episode, and I remember watching those first day of dailies, and he was just doing something. He was mimicking her. He was always just completely in the moment in a way that we just knew he was going to be a part of the show.
I remember actually doing a story for Entertainment Weekly about Ugly Betty and interviewing Michael, and he was telling me that he was doing Shakespeare in San Diego, and I just loved the image of Marc St. with like a beard, I think he had, and just like this kind of scruffy hair doing Shakespeare, which would never happen. And Becki, and you, Amanda, and Marc also have this incredible chemistry, and of course you guys do the webisodes together. How did that come about? And
well, it started out, I think originally we were asked to do one podcast where we had to just interview someone, and it was just one. And we took it upon ourselves to do it every single week. And at first we were supposed to talk about the show, and then we just started talking about ourselves. And then we started talking about everything except the show. So it started out just with this weekly, sort of, it's not a radio thing. I'm not very good with technology. So a podcast, you have to buy it on iTunes. So then from there,
or download it free.
Yeah, that's something like that. And I guess, how did the webisode start? I don't remember. I think this idea that, I think Michael and I would often wonder, where do Marc and Amanda live? Like, do they ever leave Mode magazine? And then at some point, Mode After Hours started, the idea that what do Marc and Amanda do in their off time? And they definitely don't go home. They do things like camp out at Mode and drink all of Wilhelmina champagne and roller skate, and it's turned into something really, really fun. I think that the thing about Michael Urie is you put him in a scene with anyone, and he has incredible chemistry. He elevates everyone around him. If he was here right now, we would tell him and hug him, but he's incredible like that.
This is your time to talk trash about him.
Oh, well, no, in truth, I mean, Michael Urie, I think, makes every actor he's with it creates such a great energy. So.
He's doing another play. He's a true thespian. He graduated from Juilliard. He's a brilliant actor, and he's doing a play called The Temperamentals.
You should all go see it.
At a small theater, so if you want to see him, he opens, I think, next week or so.
Yeah,
Monday. Next Monday.
Yeah.
And actually, another thing that he said to me when I interviewed him, just how great it was, both of you being stage actors, and how great it was you could really play off each other.